Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meal.
What can you make with a cup of flour, a cup of milk or buttermilk, and some applesauce? How about skillet bread? So we're going to start off with a cup of flour. This is self-rising flour. If you're not using self-rising flour, you'll have to add some baking powder to it. That's about a cup. We're going to put 3 tablespoons of applesauce. You could use 3 tablespoons of butter. Applesauce is a good replacement for it and gives it a really nice flavor. I'm going to mix that up a little bit. And then we're going to add some buttermilk. Now, I just happen to have buttermilk, that's why I'm going to use it, but this works fine with milk. The buttermilk gives it a little richer flavor, so I'm going to add a half a cup. And all we're trying to do is get a nice little shaggy dough here. It's not like biscuits, we're not going to roll them or anything like that. We're just going to put them in a pan and bake them at 425 degrees. Now, that's a pretty wet dough, but that's really not a problem either. The advantage is you don't have to do anything by hand to it, so that makes it a lot easier to work. I've got a small cast iron pan, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a little butter. I'm going to put some butter in the pan. You could use butter or you could use bacon fat. You just need to get the pan greased. I'm going to stick that in the oven and let it get hot. Bacon grease works really good for this because it adds an extra flavor. So if you cook bacon and save that, which a lot of people do, you'll find that's really a good addition to it. Now we're going to let that melt and heat up the pan a little bit. But if you notice, this is a fairly wet mixture, but that will be fine. Use a little less milk if you're more comfortable with that. But again, I've used skim milk, 1%, 2% whole milk, and I have used buttermilk. So I think you can pretty well get away with any choice you make in that. Okay, the butter is melted. So what I'm gonna try and do is make sure I get it all the way around. Okay, and then all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour this in the middle. Scrape sides down, try and get as much of it in there as I can. Just kind of even it out a little bit. And that's it. And we're going to stick it in the oven and let it cook at 425 degrees for about 25 minutes. And here we have the finished product. It's really easy and it comes out quite nice. The next thing I would normally do is put some butter on it. I'm going to melt a couple tablespoons of butter. Here we have a little melted butter. It's going to soak it up. So there we have skillet bread. And it's easy, quick, and what the final product is quite nice. And there we have a beautiful fluffy biscuit. It's just, instead of cut in a round or in a square, it's baked in a pan. And think how little effort we used. It's going to be an extraordinarily good tasting biscuit. It's going to be sweeter because of the applesauce, although the butter will, if you make it with butter, it will taste really good too. So there we have it. Now I'm going to make some eggs and have breakfast.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.